Chosen one, your presence here is no accident. You were guided to this very moment by a divine appointment, drawn by a quiet call from heaven that your spirit could recognize. The instant you encountered these words, something in the spiritual realm shifted. You have entered a sacred moment, prepared long before you arrived. A moment where destiny meets divine timing. The angels have been preparing the way for this encounter. And now what was hidden is beginning to open. Anointed one, heaven has designated you for a season of abundance. The chapter of waiting, observing, and questioning is coming to a close. You are approaching a supernatural release. One that carries more than love, it carries favor, prosperity, influence, and divine recognition. What once appeared to be postponed is now falling into place according to a higher order. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2:3. This is your appointed moment. Heaven has placed your name upon a blessing that no person and no circumstance can cancel. So become still. Take a breath. Open your heart and receive. What is approaching will not come because you struggled to earn it. It will come because you have been trusted to carry it. You were chosen to receive revelation rather than relive old cycles. Soon, you will see what occurs when a prophetic promise steps into the physical realm and what was invisible becomes undeniable. Chosen one, pay attention. What is happening around you is not random. There is divine order behind it all. Every delay, every season of silence, and every prayer that seemed unanswered has been positioning you for the revelation that is now drawing near. Your eyes may not recognize it yet, but deep within, your spirit can already sense that something is changing. You can sense the atmosphere becoming different. You notice it in the strange way. Time seems to move, and in the small confirmations that continue appearing around you, you are not imagining these things. Heaven has been guiding your path, bringing your name into alignment with a person and a purpose that will transform the direction of your story. And understand this clearly: what is coming is not only about love, it's about divine transfer, about heaven placing you in proximity to influence, not to glorify you, but to reveal what humility looks like when it meets purpose. The person you're about to meet, yes, the one the world watches, the one whose name fills headlines, has already felt the vibration of your spirit. They don't know your name yet, but they know your peace. They've been surrounded by noise, by people who want what they have, but not who they are. Yet in the stillness of their soul, something is missing, and that missing piece is the purity of your presence. Anointed one, this isn't fantasy, it's divine symmetry. I've seen it happen, moments where heaven interrupts ordinary lives with impossible alignment. Years ago, I too walked through a season of isolation where everything felt like preparation without purpose. Doors closed, friends drifted, silence grew louder, but I learned something sacred in that silence. God hides his best work in quiet seasons. When I thought nothing was happening, heaven was building bridges I couldn't yet see. And one day they appeared sudden, perfect, undeniable. That's where you are right now. The unseen alignment, the silent unfolding. You're not being overlooked. You're being reserved. Heaven doesn't rush what it intends to last forever. You've been asking why it's taking so long. But delay doesn't mean denial. Delay means design. And this design, This connection has been handcrafted in heaven long before you were aware of it. Chosen one. The person you've admired from afar, their soul has been searching for you without knowing it. The energy, the calm, the authenticity you carry, that's what their spirit recognizes. They've built a world of lights, but are starving for warmth. They've achieved what many dream of, but their heart aches for what money cannot purchase, and fame cannot fake peace, and that peace lives in you. But hear me, this connection won't come loudly. It won't announce itself with fireworks or attention. It will begin like dawn, quiet, sûr, radiant, maybe through a message, a glance, a moment that feels ordinary but carries divine weight. When it comes, you'll know because it won't feel forced. It will feel familiar. That's how God works. He hides miracles inside what looks mundane, and when it starts, keep it sacred. Protect it. Don't rush to share what's still taking root. The holiest things begin in stillness. Silence is the soil where destiny grows. Don't let the noise of curiosity or approval cheapen what heaven has planted. This is your private miracle, and it must be guarded before it can be revealed. The world doesn't need to understand it. They will in time. Every closed door before this moment was protection. Every heartbreak was preparation. You didn't miss out. You were being refined for what can't be rushed. This time, it won't be like before. This time, you won't have to chase. You'll attract what's meant to find you effortlessly, spiritually, completely, because what's coming next isn't random affection. It's divine confirmation. Stay here. Stay still. You are closer than you realize. Heaven is positioning two hearts. One known, one hidden to collide in perfect timing. And when it happens, it won't just be a connection. It will be a covenant written in secret, revealed in peace, and sealed by divine purpose. Chosen one. What's unfolding next requires a different kind of strength. The strength to stay quiet while heaven works loudly. You see, when destiny begins to move, it doesn't always announce itself with clarity. It often feels confusing at first, even fragile. But that's how sacred things are, born in whispers, not thunder. This next chapter of your story will test your ability to discern between what's loud and what's true. The one the world knows, the one whose face fills screens, is walking through a silent battle. Behind every spotlight is a shadow no one sees. They are surrounded by attention but starving for authenticity. They inspire millions but feel unseen. Their laughter fills arenas, yet when the crowd disperses, silence meets them like a mirror. And in that silence, heaven is stirring something new, a pull toward your spirit. Anointed one, you are the answer to a prayer they never said out loud. While they've been asking God for peace, you've been learning how to carry it. Every hardship you endured trained you to hold space for someone who lives under pressure. Every time you forgave instead of fighting back, heaven strengthened your capacity to love without fear. Now your spiritual endurance has become a sanctuary that will draw them in like home. I know what it's like to walk through hidden preparation, to be told, wait when your spirit says, now. I've seen seasons where doors refused to open no matter how hard I pushed, but later I realized God wasn't punishing me. He was protecting the purity of what he promised. You, chosen one, are in that same divine delay. You weren't being denied. You were being developed. Because what you're about to receive must rest on strong foundations. Very soon, The connection will begin to surface subtly, softly, supernaturally. You'll sense it before it's visible. Maybe a dream that lingers longer than usual, or a thought that keeps returning without reason. Maybe a moment online, a glance that carries recognition deeper than words. However it arrives, it will carry peace, not confusion. That's how you'll know it's from God. But remember this: the beginning must remain hidden, not because you should fear loss, but because holiness matures in silence. Don't post it. Don't prove it. Protect it. The most dangerous thing you could do right now is expose a promise that's still being formed. When God plants something sacred, He covers it first, just like He covered you in your wilderness season. This isn't just about love. It's a revelation of divine strategy. God is about to elevate you, not through noise, but through nearness, placing you beside someone who has influence, not to compete with their light, but to show them where true light comes from. You are not stepping into fame. You are stepping into purpose disguised as connection. Chosen one. This is the season where your humility becomes your magnet. Heaven is aligning everything for the introduction that will shift not only your path, but theirs too. And when it happens, you won't need to force a thing, because what's meant by divine design always recognizes itself effortlessly, silently, eternally. Chosen one. Listen carefully. You are walking through the narrow gate between what was promised and what is about to manifest. This is the most delicate part of the journey. The in-between, the silence before the sound. Heaven is rearranging circumstances around you in real time. What looks random right now is divine precision unfolding. The delay, the shift in your circle, the sudden urge to isolate, even the quiet in your spirit. All of it is preparation for the encounter that will rewrite your destiny. I've lived through this moment myself. There was a time when I thought God had forgotten me. I watched others receive their breakthroughs while mine seemed to linger somewhere in the distance. I didn't realize that heaven wasn't late. It was layering things. The blessing I was waiting for was also waiting for me to mature into it. That's what's happening for you. Anointed one. The blessing isn't lost. It's being refined, so it won't collapse under its own weight. Right now, the one destined to cross your path is sensing a restlessness they can't explain. They're successful, admired, yet deeply unfulfilled. The noise around them has grown loud, but the silence inside them has grown louder. And it's that silence that heaven is using to draw them toward you. You are not just another face in the crowd. You are a frequency their spirit has already tuned into. They won't recognize it logically, but something in them will soften when they encounter your peace. Chosen one. When that moment arrives, and it will, your spirit will know before your mind catches up. A strange calm will settle over you, and everything that used to feel hard will suddenly feel aligned. This is the evidence of divine timing. But remember, divine timing is never about speed. It's about sequence. God doesn't rush destiny. He aligns it. So hold your peace when others around you start to question why you've changed. You're quieter now because revelation requires silence. You're more selective with your energy because discernment has replaced desperation. You're not pulling away from people. You're being positioned for purpose. And this purpose carries weight. Kingdom weight. You may not understand why certain doors closed, but if they hadn't, you'd still be too busy to notice the one that's opening. The connection that's coming isn't simply romantic. It's redemptive. It will heal places in you that prayers alone could not reach. It will also bring healing to them. the one who has everything but peace. Through you, they'll encounter the God who restores without applause. But take heed, Anointed One. What begins in grace must be guarded by wisdom. When this connection begins, don't rush to define it. Let it breathe. Let it be watered by faith, not fear. The spotlight the world gives them is too bright for something newly planted. Your role is not to display this miracle, it's to steward it. Keep it in the quiet where heaven can protect it from pride, gossip, and misunderstanding. You've waited long enough, but your waiting wasn't wasted. Heaven was sculpting your spirit into something stable enough to hold the blessing. Now the alignment is near. You'll soon understand why every detour was divine, why every no was a shield. The one who was once unreachable is about to reach for you. And when they do, it will feel like recognition, not surprise, because your soul's already met long before your eyes ever will. Chosen one. When divine alignment approaches, the air around you begins to change. You can sense it in the subtle ways life starts rearranging itself. Routines breaking, people distancing, unexpected opportunities emerging. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations. Heaven is creating room for what's been waiting to enter. You are stepping into a vibration of destiny that demands a lighter spirit, a clearer heart, and a posture of trust. The one destined to meet you is closer than you think. Even now, heaven is adjusting schedules, redirecting routes, and opening paths to create that moment of divine collision. You may feel restless because your spirit can sense what your eyes cannot see. It's not anxiety. It's anticipation. The same spirit that guided Ruth to the field of Boaz, that brought Esther before the king, that positioned Joseph before Pharaoh. That same orchestration is now moving in your favor. You are not drifting. You are being divinely directed. Anointed One. I know how it feels when everything familiar begins to dissolve. You start losing interest in conversations that used to excite you. You crave stillness over attention, and you sense that something extraordinary is just beyond reach. That's heaven's way of clearing space. When destiny draws near, distractions lose their flavor. The pull you feel isn't emptiness. It's alignment. You're being tuned to heaven's frequency. The person you're being aligned with isn't coming into your life by luck. This connection has been in motion long before either of you prayed for it. There were moments when you felt delayed, unseen, left behind. But what was really happening was refinement. You weren't just being prepared for a relationship. You were being prepared to carry a divine assignment together. This is not just about romance. It's about restoration. Chosen One, when your paths cross, it will not be grand or theatrical. Heaven doesn't operate through spectacle. It moves through stillness. Perhaps you'll meet through a conversation that feels strangely familiar, or an unexpected invitation, or a glance that carries the weight of recognition. In that moment, peace will flood your soul. That's how you'll know it's divine. Love from God never rushes your heart. It rests it. But with great revelation comes great responsibility. You must keep this connection hidden beneath the wings of discretion. The world thrives on curiosity. But what heaven entrusts must be guarded. The enemy loves to interrupt what's sacred before it matures. You cannot let public approval become the thief of divine process. Keep your miracle wrapped in silence until it's strong enough to stand. What God grows in private, He reveals in power. I remember when God began to align something in my own life. It didn't look supernatural at first. just a normal interaction, a passing conversation. But in my spirit, I felt a deep knowing. This is not random. It was calm, not chaos. And later, I realized that every silent season before it had been rehearsal for that moment. You are about to know that same moment of recognition, that overwhelming realization that arrives as a sudden peace. You will experience the calm that comes when a promise you once carried in faith finally takes shape. Anointed one, do not minimize the significance of what is approaching. Heaven does not arrange ordinary encounters. It orchestrates sacred assignments that often appear as simple meetings. Soon, you will enter a love that restores what was wounded, lifts what was burdened, and changes you from within. It may not begin with dramatic signs or overwhelming excitement. It will begin with peace. Because when something unfolds in God's appointed timing, there is no need to force it. Everything moves with a natural rhythm. Chosen one, as you come deeper into alignment with heaven, the atmosphere may become quieter. That silence does not mean God has stepped away. It means something holy is being completed beyond what your eyes can see. You may have noticed that your prayers carry a different depth lately. Your dreams feel more intense, and your heart responds more deeply to things around you. Do not mistake that tenderness for weakness. It is spiritual awareness. It is evidence that what you have been holding on to through faith is nearing its appointed manifestation in the unseen realm. Heaven has been preparing two hearts, yours and theirs, bringing them into harmony like two instruments being tuned to the same note. Every lonely season, every lesson that taught you patience, and every tear you shed where no one could see has helped shape the unique sound of your spirit. And when they encounter that sound, something within them will recognize it. They may not be able to explain why they feel drawn toward you. They may simply sense that there is peace in your presence. The world may describe it as chemistry, attraction, or coincidence. But heaven knows it as alignment and completion. Anointed one, hold on to that truth. What God is bringing into your life is not accidental favor. It is restoration arriving in a form you may not have expected. The person everyone admires may be the very one heaven has been quietly transforming behind closed doors. They have experienced many things the world defines as success. Yet none of it satisfied the deepest hunger within them. And you, the one who was often unseen or underestimated, may carry the very peace and nourishment their soul has been searching for. This is the reversal of roles that divine justice brings. The quiet being elevated above the loud, the pure above the proud, the unseen above the celebrated. But to carry something this rare, your spirit must remain grounded. When the encounter begins, humility will be your armor. Don't let excitement make you careless. This is not a season for showing off. It's a season for stewardship. What heaven gives you in trust must be handled with reverence. Speak less. Pray more. Move with wisdom. You're not just protecting your heart. You're protecting a prophecy. I've learned through my own journey that the holier the promise, the higher the price of protection. When God started moving in my life, He removed things I thought I needed. People, habits, old ways of thinking. I didn't understand it then. But later I saw how each subtraction made room for a greater addition. You might be in that same refining now. Don't resist it. Pruning precedes blooming. The things being stripped from you are the very things that would have sabotaged your next season. Chosen one. You're not being isolated. You're being insulated. God is wrapping you in divine privacy because exposure too early would destroy what He's building. Think about it. Diamonds form in pressure and darkness, not applause. In this same way, your covenant is forming out of sight under the watchful hand of heaven. So resist the urge to announce what's not yet ready. You owe no explanation to those who cannot discern what's divine. When the moment of meeting arrives, it will not feel like an introduction. It will feel like remembrance, as if you've met before in a place only your souls recall. That's the mystery of destiny. It never feels new. It feels inevitable, and from that moment on, your life will shift into divine rhythm. What once felt delayed will suddenly make perfect sense. The waiting will be worth it, because you'll realize heaven wasn't making you wait. It was making you ready. Chosen one. Stay hidden. Stay humble. Stay holy. The greatest miracles are never rushed. They're revealed. And soon what was whispered in private will echo across your destiny as undeniable proof that God never forgets the ones who trust in silence. Chosen one. The closer you move toward fulfillment, the quieter heaven becomes. Not because you've done something wrong, but because God is fine-tuning the details of what He promised. You've stepped into the stillness between prophecy and manifestation, that sacred pause where faith must speak louder than sight. You may not realize it, but the silence surrounding you is not absence. It's alignment. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, every shift in your circle has been heaven's way of clearing the runway for what's about to land. Anointed one. What's coming is not ordinary favor. It's a divine intersection of destiny, partnership, and supernatural transfer. The person entering your story carries both visibility and vulnerability. The world sees their platform, but heaven sees their pain. They've reached the peak of success, yet remain restless. Because influence without intimacy always leaves the soul hungry. You are the answer to a prayer they never had the words to speak. Your stillness will silence their chaos. Your peace will remind them what truth feels like. But before heaven reveals them, you must prove that you can protect what is precious. This is the final test of your maturity, the test of discretion. You'll begin noticing confirmations, names repeating in unexpected places, dreams that linger long after waking, moments that feel divinely choreographed. These are whispers, not announcements. Don't run ahead of the Spirit. Some promises are fragile when first formed. Expose them too soon, and you weaken their foundation. The holier the promise, the heavier the covering it requires. Chosen one. This connection is not about fame. It's about function. God is not sending you to bask in their spotlight. He's sending you to help them remember their light. You're not there to mirror their image, but to magnify their healing. That's why your past pain was necessary, because you learned how to love without conditions. Every heartbreak you endured taught you the language of grace. Now you'll speak that language into a soul the world has forgotten how to understand. I know this space well. There was a time when I too felt unseen, waiting for my breakthrough. I couldn't comprehend why God kept me hidden while others were celebrated. But now I know He was teaching me silence, not punishment. Because when the blessing arrived, I recognized it instantly. It didn't come with noise. It came with peace. You're about to experience the same realization. Heaven never makes you wait to torture you. It makes you wait to prepare you. So guard your atmosphere. Protect your peace. When God begins to reveal the first threads of this divine connection, treat it like holy ground. Don't post it. Don't overthink it. Don't rush to explain it. Just be present. Because the moment it begins, it will feel like remembering something you never learned. Effortless. Undeniable. Divinely familiar. Chosen one. The alignment is almost complete. Breathe. Stay surrendered. The same God who orchestrated galaxies has orchestrated this meeting. When it arrives, you won't have to chase it. It will recognize you. And when it does, your soul will know this is not coincidence. This is covenant. Chosen one. We are entering the moment where divine prophecy begins to breathe. Heaven has already signed this chapter with your name. What's about to unfold isn't imagination. It's manifestation. You may not see it fully, but your spirit can feel the tremors. The air feels charged. Time feels slower. And your discernment has sharpened. That's because heaven is now orchestrating divine proximity. What was once unseen is beginning to take form. Anointed one, hear this clearly. You are not being aligned for romance alone. You're being positioned for revelation. The person you're about to meet, the one whose name carries weight in the world, is part of your next spiritual assignment. God is joining your anointings, your callings, your influence, and your healing in one divine collision. This connection will be more than emotional. It will be generational. Together, you'll break patterns and birth purpose. This is why the warfare has been so intense. The enemy attacks what carries destiny. Every trial you've endured has been heaven's training ground. When you were forced to start over, when you felt forgotten, when people misunderstood your silence, that was all spiritual conditioning. Heaven was building endurance in you so that when abundance arrived, it wouldn't corrupt your character. You learned to pray without proof, to believe without evidence, to forgive without closure. That's why God can now trust you with visibility, because you no longer crave validation. The famous person you're being aligned with has walked through a different wilderness. Theirs was public, yours was private, yet both roads were leading to the same intersection. They've had everything and felt empty. You've had little and carried fullness. Heaven is bringing the two together to demonstrate what divine balance looks like. Through your peace, they will rediscover faith. Through their platform, your purpose will find a larger echo. Together, you'll reflect the truth that love isn't found in noise, but in knowing chosen one. I've walked through seasons like this. I remember when God told me, don't seek the stage. Seek the secret place. It didn't make sense then, but now I see why. Hidden seasons are not punishment. They are preservation. God hides what he values, and he has hidden you until the right eyes could see you for who you are, not for what you offer. Soon those eyes will recognize you not as a stranger, but as a missing piece of peace. When that moment arrives, don't overthink it. Don't try to perform or impress. Just be still. Let your authenticity speak. The world around them is full of pretense, but your stillness will cut through the noise like light through fog. That's what will capture their spirit. Your quiet confidence in God. Chosen one. Heaven is already speaking their name in your direction. You might feel the pull in unexpected moments. Air song, a dream, a sudden calm. These are signs that the spiritual alignment is active. Stay in prayer. Not panic. Stay in gratitude. Not grasping. You don't need to chase what's been chosen for you. The encounter is coming, and when it arrives, it won't feel like a beginning. It will feel like fulfillment. And you'll know deep in your spirit that every lonely night, every hidden year, every unanswered prayer was leading you here to this exact moment, to this divine connection, to this promise finally unfolding before your eyes. Chosen one, this is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. You've walked through fire, silence and pruning, and now you stand at the threshold of divine fulfillment. What once felt like endless waiting is about to reveal its purpose. The page is turning, and your story is shifting from prophecy to proof. You are about to witness the evidence of what unwavering faith looks like when heaven decides now. Anointed one, this divine connection will not arrive like a storm, but like sunrise, gentle, undeniable, faithful. You'll recognize it in the way peace fills the room before words are spoken. You'll feel it in the way your heart no longer questions timing. The world will call it coincidence, but your spirit will know it's covenant. Heaven's fingerprints will be everywhere. In the way you meet, in the timing of the message, in the sudden harmony of two stories that were written apart, but meant to be read together. This love is not performance. It is purpose. You are not being placed in their life to compete with their world, but to complete their healing. You'll stand beside someone admired by millions, yet you'll see what the crowd cannot. Their humanity, their hidden fragility, their hunger for peace. And you'll realize that God didn't send you there to be impressed. He sent you to be impactful through your presence. They will remember what holiness feels like. Through your patience, they will learn what unconditional love truly is. But listen carefully. Chosen one, the higher the promise, the deeper the discretion. What heaven bears in silence must remain sealed until it's strong enough to stand in the open. Don't let curiosity or excitement cause you to speak too soon. Don't trade mystery for attention. The world cannot comprehend what it didn't hear. Heaven declare, guard this connection like a sacred flame. Let time reveal what truth has already confirmed. I've seen what happens when people rush divine things. They expose what was meant to mature, and in doing so, they weaken its roots. Don't repeat that mistake. You've come too far to lose something this holy, to impatience. Trust that the same God who aligned this moment knows exactly when to unveil it. When it's time, the revelation will be undeniable, not through rumors, attention, or public display, but through the evidence your life begins to produce. The peace you carry, the growth that becomes visible, and the favor that follows you will speak more powerfully than any explanation ever could. Chosen one, take a deep breath. You are prepared for this. The waiting refined you, and surrender purified you. This connection is more than something you receive as a reward. It is a sacred responsibility, a reflection of how faithfully heaven has honored your obedience. Soon, others will witness what you carried quietly in prayer. And when that moment comes, you will smile because you will remember that you never had to chase it down. You nurtured it, protected it, and allowed it to grow in the right season. So remain grounded in gratitude. Move gently, but expectantly. Heaven is no longer working behind the scenes to prepare what is coming. Heaven is now placing it directly before you. The promise is no longer somewhere in the distance. It has entered your present. The person, the partnership, the purpose, everything is reaching its appointed readiness. And when it begins to unfold, you will finally understand that it was never simply love that came searching for you. It was destiny finding its way to you. Chosen one. Receive this as your divine confirmation. Heaven is not preparing you for another season anymore. It is releasing you into it. You have entered your Kairos moment, that precise appointed hour where what was prophesied begins to take form before your eyes. What once seemed delayed is now coming into alignment. What was concealed is stepping into the light, anointed one. Carry yourself with quiet confidence. A supernatural shift is already taking place around you. Favor, peace, healing, and restoration are beginning to move through your life. The season of waiting has reached its conclusion, and the season of manifestation has opened. Protect your heart. Remain humble, and let the Spirit guide every step you take. If these words awaken something within your spirit, type Amen as an expression of your faith. Subscribe and remain connected. Because greater revelations are drawing near, never forget that the story heaven is writing through your life is sacred. Stay still. Keep believing. Your promise is not somewhere ahead waiting to arrive. It is unfolding in this very moment. Your miracle is already in motion.